Hi folks, welcome to the channel. I hope everybody is keeping well. So what are we talking about today? Well, sometimes on your BMW, one is just not enough. So yes, we are talking about USB sockets on your R1250GS. As you all know, out of the factory, the BMW comes fitted as standard with one 5-volt 2.4 amp USB socket located beneath the TFT, but sometimes one is just not enough, and you're going to need a second USB socket to power maybe your action cameras or batteries for your action cameras. So that's what we're doing today. We are going to be fitting this. This is a dual socket USB, and we're going to be fitting it to the BMW, and it is going to take about 5 minutes, hopefully. So I purchased this through that UK online company called Nippy Normans. It cost me £32 and it included free UK delivery. I'll put a link in the description down below, so make sure you go and check it out. So what do we get then? So we get a very well made bit of kit. So it has 2 ports, USB-A type ports. Port 1 gives you 2.3 amps of power, and then port 2 will give you 1 amp of power, and there are rubber dust cap covers and weatherproof covers for you to pop on the top when you're not using them. Nippy Normans also do a fast charging version of this. So one port is a USB-C port and the other one is a USB-A port. Comes in at £35.90, and it just means that the USB-C port gives you the facility to do some fast charging. So what we're going to do then is fit this to the BMW. It is going to take about 5 minutes. I've already fitted it and then taken it off, so we're going to fit it again. 5 minutes, absolutely no problems at all. I've got the scratches on my arms to prove it, so this hopefully will be easy for you folks out there. So all we're going to use from the kit that they sent us is the double USB socket and the locking ring or locking nut that came with it, and this wonderful spanner. So without further ado, let's crack on and hopefully not get too many scratches on your wrist. And I suggest take any rings off and any watches as well, so you don't damage the bike or give yourself lots of scratches like I've done. So let's crack on. So folks, this really is a 5-minute job, but yeah, take any watches off. So my bike has got the Wunderlich cockpit cover installed, so it looks slightly different, but the procedure for removal and installation is exactly the same. Just with that cockpit cover on, it just makes it a little bit more awkward, but I've done it a couple of times already, so hopefully you won't get too many scratches on your wrist. So basically, if this is the BMW one that's on there already, so it sits in the bracket, and then basically there's a nut on the underside of the bracket to keep it secure, and then there's a power feed into the bottom of the socket. And then what we need to do is we'll put our hand up here, and then with our thumb, I'll try and put a little video up there as well, show you what I'm talking about. There is a press piece on the connector, the power connector, so you need to push that up. It's right on the end of this, push it up, and then you can just pull the plug off and then undo the nut. So let's do that now. So I'll try and put a little video up there. So I think I swore quite a bit yesterday when I was trying to do it because it's such a tight area. So there we go. So my thumb is on the connector, set the like 6 o'clock position, so the lowest part. So push it up, that will sort of release the clip, and then just with your forefinger, just pull it off. And then that is the power supply removed. So then what we need to do is get the spanner and just undo the nut a little bit, and then we can just waggle the top of the USB socket up here and then just undo it with our fingers. So we're going to take the spanner, and you might get it first time. I don't think you'll be able to get the spanner flush on the nut, so you just might have to go in on the angle, and all you want to do is just enough to undo it. So it's undone now. Get rid of the spanner. And then with that little bit of slack, you can just waggle it from the top here, and then at the same time, bit of coordination, and then just as you waggle it, just undo the nut and take it off, and then try not to drop the nut. So there we go. Then we have the old USB and then the nut, and then we'll put the new nut on. That's it all removed. So here's the one we just removed, and this is the double USB socket that we're going to install. You can see that the direction of the orientation of the old one compared to the new one is basically that's been turned 90 degrees around. So when you install the new one, the press to release bit, remember when I put my thumb up there and pushed the catch, that was on the underside. So when we reinstall the power connector, basically it's like that now. So the plug for the new one is going to be the release, press to release, is going to be on this side when we come to fit it. So you're going to have to rotate it through 90 degrees. So the clip will be on this side when you come to release it in the future. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. There's the socket, there's the nut, and the nut has got a bit of a crown to it, if you see, so just make sure you put the nut on the right way. And guys and girls, don't go mad screwing this up. It's only a plastic thread. You don't want to end up stripping the thread, so just nip it up just enough to keep it in position. There is a tab at the top, I don't know if you can see that, and that male part just sits in the female part on here. So you're going to pop this in the top there, all the way in, and then this is the fun bit, folks. Make sure that nut goes in the right way up with the dome side facing towards the front wheel, and then good luck, guys. You'll either go on first time or not, and try not to swear. So let's go for it, and try not to cross thread it, so just take your time. Yes, it's in, we're in. Woohoo! There we go. So that is now finger tight, and then we're going to do spanner and just nip it up just enough to keep it secure. Remember, guys, it is only a plastic thread, so you don't want to strip it. I think this is the most fiddly part, is just securing the nut. You can't see what's going on. What you can do is come down here and you can look straight up and get a view of the nut and hopefully get the spanner on there. Right, that's nice and secure now. So a bit fiddly, but yeah, just take your time. And if you want to get a better view, just try and look up this way. I'll put a video up there so you can see the nut on the underside of the double USB socket. And then now we've just got to reconnect the power supply to the end of the socket. Job done. So all I need to do now is just put my hand up here and then put the power supply onto the end of the WSB, and just remember that the push to release clip is now facing towards the left hand handlebar, so it has rotated through 90 degrees. And again, I'll try and put a little video up, and yeah, a bit fiddly, but there we go, it's on. Job done, and that is a 5-minute job. Woohoo! What's it, folks, we've come to the end of the installation video. I do hope it's been of some assistance to yourself if you're looking at purchasing the double USB socket from Nippy Normans. It will take you only about 5 minutes. Obviously, I've got the Wunderlich cockpit panel, so if you haven't got that, the installation may be a little bit more easier for you, and you may not get as many scratches on your wrists as well. So just make sure you test the sockets just to make sure that they're both getting power to them, and then after a couple of rides, just make sure that locking nut on the underside is still in position. If it's not, just do it up again. So I've just taken my dogs out for a little walk and a ball throwing session, so they're a little bit cream crackered at the moment. I do hope the video has been of some interest to yourselves, and in the meantime, ride safe, and we'll see you all again soon in the next video. Cheerio for now, bye.